Hello and welcome back to the Greyhawk channel, everyone. I hope y'all have had a wonderful week. Hello and which is not muted. That's awkward. You probably all just heard some echoing of my voice for a moment. um, yes. Hi. We're professionals here. We know what we're doing when it comes to streaming. This is the Paradox Report, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign set in the free city of Greyhawk. Let's go around the virtual tabletop here and remind everyone of who we are playing today. Let's start with Stella.
Hello everyone. I am Stella Luna and I am playing Rue Waymark. She is a rogue, but not the sneaky kind of rogue. It's more of the inquisitive type of rogue.
Yes. Ryan.
Hello, I'm Ryan. I'm playing Owen Siskotel. He is a Shadowkai necromancer. I don't have anything cool to say other than he's a necromancer.
I think that's all you need to say about him. And Wild.
Yes, hi, I'm Wild Engineer, and I am playing Creighton Marnoche. He is a Yuan-Ti barbarian who, I believe his most predominant feature is his 7 intelligence.
Yeah, you know, that 7 intelligence, you know, that's coming real handy recently. And of course, V.
Hello, I'm V Perky, and I play Vestin Valgalia, High Elf Sorcerer. So, yeah, there we go. I guess that's all we can say about Vestin.
Yeah, all we can say for now, you know, totally normal. You're all totally normal characters in a normal campaign. I am, of course, Imperator Pengu, Tommy, Dungeon Master of this campaign. As I like to call myself in other games, your unreliable narrator. Now, this game is, of course, set in the Greyhawk universe, and you know, as I like to say before, all of our games, this is a Greyhawk of our own. It may not exactly adhere to old school canon Greyhawk, and that's fine. We'd like to build on it as we go here. We also use the rule of cool and a couple of other homebrew rules, so if you notice some things that aren't quite PHB or raw rules, it's probably because we might have homebrewed it. Before we start, as always, we'd love to thank our Patreon supporters and Twitter subscribers. You are the reason that we are able to continue being here each and every week, as well as having all these new and awesome shows every season. Of course, this season, the Greyhawk channel is officially supported by Roll20, which powers all of our games. Roll20 is the world's leading virtual tabletop, and you can try it out for free at roll20.net. Heroic Maps is our official battle map sponsor. You can check out their library of more than 300 maps on DriveThru RPG. You can also go to tabletoploot.com and enter the code Greyhawk, one word, in the coupon code box and get 15% off your dice order. Our Patreon and Twitch subscribers can also get coupon codes to rueinc.com and Cantrip Candles. Check the private section of our Discord. And of course, speaking of our Discord, if you haven't yet, I recommend joining it. You can find a link down below where you can interact with cast members and other crew at the Greyhawk channel. And last but certainly not least, before we jump into the game, we use safety tools on this channel. Safety tools are a way of making sure that everyone feels safe and comfortable at the table, even as we push the boundaries of the themes and topics that we discuss in game. The most important goal of our table is that everyone has fun and enjoys the game. And safety tools is a great way to make sure that happens. to quickly recap what happened last week, you all found yourselves in battle with a group of specters that had risen up out of the ground. After a short but explosive combat in which Vestin found that these specters were not light hitters. In fact, they seemed to suck the life force out of you with their touch. But Vestin gave as good as he got, killing 2 of them, at least. And you all sort of were able to investigate more as you were suddenly set upon by the City Watch, who were investigating a disturbance of doors being broken down in a in a mansion in town, where a familiar face to one Rue Waymark, Captain Henri, was leading the group. He didn't see her and was promptly drugged by Creighton. Whether or not by accident, we're still not sure. But he then attempted to attack the group, claiming they were demons as he was hallucinating, and had to be restrained by Creighton as well as some of the other guards that were with him. You then all went to investigate sort of the rest of the estate, finding a greenhouse and garden in the back, as well as a small shack where someone seemed to be living. And in this shack, you found a demonic summoning circle, as well as the key to some notes, some ledgers you found within the house, and where you discovered that the person who owned this house, one Gisola Jandra, was running some sort of botanical import business that was above board in some ways and below board in many other ways. The servant appeared to be a spy of some sort, spying on this Lady Gisola, hoping to, well, you're not entirely sure. Something about gaining more information about who her contacts were and whatnot, but was turned as his son was taken hostage by this group he was spying on, and so in his distraught mind, when he could not deliver upon something they had requested, turned towards a deal with a demon in order to, at the very least, kill his tormentor, which were the bodies that you had found. It was in this that Owen realized that we probably had a Wraith problem. Captain Henri opened his eyes and found himself staring at a dimly lit ceiling. He gritted his teeth as one of the worst headaches he'd ever had in his life made itself known. As he sat up and looked around, he realized he was in the infirmary of the local City Watch station in the river quarter, of which he'd recently been given charge. He wasn't sure quite how he'd gotten here. I see you're, finally awake, Captain. Henri turned to see a gruff, bearded female dwarf sitting at a desk penning a letter. The double wings of a City Watch commander adorned her city guard tabard. Commander Ashrock. Henri immediately jumped to his feet and held a fist to his chest in salute. Sit down, Captain. You took a pretty good knock to the head, from what I understand. One of your, privates said they had to knock you out. Henri winced as he tried to remember what had happened, but it's a bit hazy. I wasn't aware that you were in the area, Commander. Mid-District's been a mess today, so I figured I'd check in with all the stations. Gets me out of the office. So, care to explain what happened before whatever happened to you? I was investigating a disturbance in the foreign quarter at Cairn Court. I came across a group from the Night Brigade and a man saying they were investigating specters and something about drugs. I think there might have been werewolves mentioned as well. I'm not quite sure. After that, my memory just gets a bit foggy. Night Brigade, huh? They also seem to be pretty busy today. Commander finished the letter and stood up to go. You get some rest, Captain. Doctor's orders. And mine. Henry saluted as the commander started to leave, but she stopped at the door and turned back. By the way, you haven't spoken to, former Private Waymark, have you? Recently, have you? If I remember correctly, she's working for the brigade now. No, can't say I have. He hadn't seen her in months, especially not after... Well, if you do see her, let her know that Commander Bruta would like to talk to her when she has time. So, you are all standing out in this garden outside of this shed home of a servant, spy, double agent. You've realized that you have a Wraith problem, and Vestin has sent off the guard that was watching the gate, screaming about demons. And I believe you all were deciding if you wanted to go for help. What would you like to do?
Ask a quick question.
Okay.
Is what we're about to do considered either a short or long rest?
Depends on what you do. If you're busy preparing for it, that's one thing. If you do take that hour to sit down, rest, relax, grab a drink, then it would be. So, it depends. It's about you also did realize that the Wraith wouldn't probably be coming out until night, and you have maybe about 4 or 5 hours until the sun sets.
Okay, then one of those hours will be Owen will be relaxing.
All right.
And with Vestin, I thought we went at night when we first went there.
Middle of the day.
Okay.
It was just dark inside the manse because there were no candles lit.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Vestin would want to take a rest as well.
All right. What else are you planning in terms of... We're going to sort of do this in a, broad scope here, so...
I think Creighton would, seeing that no one seems to be heading out, just, probably start scoping out the rest of the land.
Okay.
The rest of the property.
All right.
Rue will spend her time more or less hanging out with Owen and Vestin, looking at the decipher key that she found under the floorboard, or Creighton had found. And she's going to try to start the deciphering process of the journal that we took off of the lady Janol?
Yep.
Zola.
Zola. Yep. So if you are going to be deciphering the key while everyone else is resting, you will not be taking a short rest. Okay. Yeah. So the other three, there's a nice patio table out here, wooden patio table, along with some outdoor furniture in this. It's pleasant it's a pleasant garden besides, knowing what's inside and what's happened over in the servants' shack. But it's a very nice garden. There's a large oak tree that Creighton is very familiar with, at least his head is, that sort of gives some good shade in the heat. Pleasant little garden. You can hear, not a lot of the city sounds because, as you know, that a lot of this area has been spooked by whatever's been happening. But Creighton, Vestin, and Owen, you can take a short rest. Vestin, do remember that your hit point maximum was reduced. So whatever you're at right now is your total HP until you either take a long rest or you find someone with a greater restoration spell. Drew, it's a bit slow going. It takes you a moment to like get into the groove of figuring out, like, remembering what letters replace what letters along this key, and but after a while you get going pretty good. Can you roll me a investigation check, please?
Can I use something from my class as well?
Mm-hmm.
I have an eye for detail.
Mm-hmm.
As a bonus action, I can make an intelligence check. Okay, never mind. This doesn't give me any bonuses.
What's sort of the description? Like, what's the fluff description of it?
Essentially, I get to just use a bonus action, so I can do it very quickly. Cipher clues.
To decipher clues. Because we're using this as sort of, let's see. Let's see. You can use bonus action to spot hidden creature or object, or make an intelligence investigation check to uncover or decipher clues. Okay, so since this isn't like in the theater of battle, we're gonna do this sort of narrative wise, and we'll say that you have an eye for detail, and which will allow you to make this at advantage.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Investigation.
19.
Oh.
So the key that you received, that you pulled out of the other journal, the journal of one Shoshvor Trentinia, the servant who seemed to work here and whose body you had found upstairs with the lady of the houses. The key wasn't complete. It was maybe about 2/3 complete, but he hadn't quite completely finished it. You, being familiar with ciphers and codes and whatnot, are able to finish it, are able to gather the rest of it enough. Like, you are able to translate enough, learn the words and then of this thing, and then use that to, like, you get an idea of what the words should be in here and use that to figure out what other letters that you were missing. And after 30-40 minutes, you're going pretty quickly and being able to translate this fairly quickly. And what you find in here are it's a ledger of sorts. It tracks shipments of goods into the city of Greyhawk, specifically of botanicals, her specialty, and then their subsequent storage, and then path to somewhere else within the city to various places that they're essentially called like stockpiles or resource warehouses. There are oh no, is the stream off? The stream crash? Or is that just me? Oh no. Please be on. Okay, good. All right. Sorry, that was Twitch being weird. And there are a few names noted in here. They're not names, they're signifiers. One is named the Knight. One is named the Bishop. One is named the Rook. And one is named the Queen. There are no names attached. And make me a nature check, please.
Okay.
Okay. So You recognize a couple of these items that were transported through here. Some of which you know are highly illegal. They are things that, if used alchemically in certain potions or applied in certain ways, some of them are used for sleeping or deadly poison. But then there's a bunch of names of plants that you are not familiar with either. And that's what you get from the...
Rue would, as she's sort of figuring everything out, she would very excitedly show and explain everything to Veston and Owen and Creighton. She seems to be really passionate once she gets started on something, and she seems very into the moment and begins to talk very quickly and just point out all of the different patterns that she sees.
And this is probably about the end of your short rest, everyone. So, if you need to roll any hit dice, roll your hit dice. If you recover anything on a short rest, make sure you mark that as well. And Rue has just revealed all this information to you.
Veston would come out of his trance. That's really interesting, Rue. Very interesting indeed.
So, do they use these to make drugs?
Yes, drugs and poisons and sleeping potions. I don't know most of these names here, but yes, drugs.
So how do they make the werewolf drugs?
I don't know how, but it seems that there's a pattern here. They go to some places in the city, and there must be people of great importance pulling the strings. You see, it says the knight, the bishop, the rook, the queen here. Yes. Maybe this has something to do with the Scarlet Brotherhood. The man, he was spying to see if there was a connection.
Perhaps when we are finished, I shall check my connections. I may know a few people.
This might be bigger than we originally thought. More than just a drug problem.
I guess if the guild assigns us to this. The what? No. The brigade?
Brigade, yep. The Night
Yeah.
Brigade.
Till then, how do we prepare for this Wraith?
I presume I would know that.
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, you had a pretty big roll. You had like a 24 on figuring stuff out. So, you know that it comes out at night. It is very resistant to a lot of types of damage, and immune to poisons and necrotic damage. You know that it can, it much like the specters, can draw your life force from you and take it. And it is also known for creating specters from recently deceased bodies, usually ones that it's killed. And you know that Silver is good against it, as well as sunlight.
So, do any of you have any, I don't know, abilities that let you cast with false sunlight, or have anything coated in silver? I'll take your silence as a no.
Silver is expensive.
True, but it's also useful in defeating one of these wraiths. Now, I don't have any myself because, as you said, it's expensive. But I was just curious if anyone who carries a blade had a silver one on them. Would be more effective than just a traditional blade.
I believe the old man had one.
I don't think he likes me very much, so if you care to ask him, feel free.
I thought that his son ran away with the silvered sword.
Yes, I can see if you put a bounty on him yet.
I could always go to the temple and see if we have any silver.
Do you think the quartermaster would help us?
Honestly, your guess is as good as mine.
Would we be able to get there in time?
Yeah, you would all know that it's maybe about a 20-30 minute walk from here back to your guild house. No, not too far.
I suggest we go and ask.
All right. So,
Yes,
where is everyone going?
Burning daylight.
Owen will start marching back toward the guild house.
See if they'll lend us some weapons.
Is everyone going to the guild house then?
Veston will, but he would like to maybe make a little pit stop at the temple first. if
So
possible.
the temple is all the way on the other side of. So there's a couple temples. There's the Mid-District Temple, which is the one you usually operate out of. That's on the other side of the Mid-District, in Clarksburg, sort of on the far side of Clarksburg. That would probably be like a good 30-40 minutes that way to get to. And then there's also the temple, the temple area of the upper district, but that's for like the large temples for the high-ranking clergy of the temples.
Okay. Vesta would probably go to Arbane. That way he could get guidance and see about the silver as well as possibly to see about his wounds as well,
Mm-hmm.
especially the Spectre. So he probably would just tell them he'll look into seeing about silver on his end and see if there's anything else. Plus, he wants to get his wounds. He'll relay that he wants to get his wounds looked at to make sure that he's up for the fight with the Wraith tonight.
Okay. We have 3 of you going back to the guild house, and we have Vestin going to the temple of St. Cuthbert.
I think that someone should go with you, Veston, just in case. Do you want me to go with you?
Would it be better if someone else, since you're the leader of the patrol or endeavor
Mission.
or
The mission?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes, I am.
I
Creighton.
support Veston.
Yes, please. I think, just in case. You never know.
And thank you for thinking of me, Rue.
Of course.
But yes.
All right. So you all exit this garden, out the battered down door that Creighton has left in the gate there. And the dwarf guard is back at this point, standing across from the gate, arms crossed, like spear in one hand, slight waver to the spear. Anyone who would like to can make an insight check on this dwarf.
Sure.
All right. So Creighton, Owen, and Rue, you all know the look of someone who's definitely had their ass chewed out by their superior, but is also afraid of demons at the same time. So this dwarf clearly looks like both terrified and chagrined at the same time. So they're just like nervously watching, but also kind of angrily watching you all leave. And you part ways.
I think
Let
as
me-
we're
go
leaving,
ahead.
like Creighton would just along the way to the dwarf be like, "I hope your spear tip is made of silver."
Why? Why do I need silver? Why would I need silver in my spear tip? Are there demons? Is there really demons here?
Not so much a demon as potentially a wraith.
What's a wraith?
It's like a demon, I believe.
It's kind of a spirit ghost type thing.
Don't worry, we'll be back with some silver. But if you want to go find yourself some silver, that would be helpful.
I can't leave this spot. I already got my ass chewed out once.
Well, it's either to live another day for another ass chewing or be dead.
Make
Which
me
would you prefer?
make me a persuasion check at advantage,
Okay.
please.
Oh, it didn't even,
This guard looks at you and then just starts sprinting away, like down the lane. Says, hey, they said we need silver. Any of you got any silver weapons?
Also, more men other than just you. I'm sure that you're fine, but more would be merrier. Thank you.
All right.
There's a
send-
good dwarf.
Oh my god,
Gonna
this
roll out
dwarf
the
is
National Guard.
this dwarf is gonna be the big bad at the end of this. So I'm guessing it's at this point that you all split and head your separate ways.
Mhm.
All right. So we will follow Rue and Owen back to the guild house, the brigade house, the barracks, as it's colloquially called. As you arrive at your strange, mismatched, cobbled together guild house in the river quarter, your receptionist is there. She seems to be idly scratching something into a piece of parchment. Welcome back. Did your hunting go well?
Yes. Is the quartermaster in?
Is Trent's always in. I mean, unless it's like late at night. I also think he lives in the stock room. Not entirely sure. I don't think he's ever leave. I don't think I've ever seen him leave.
Oh,
I had my suspicions.
But yeah,
Must
I'm
be-
pretty sure he's in.
married to the work.
Sure. Let's go with that.
What are you writing?
Nothing. She sort of pulls it back over the desk.
Oh, and I'll just kind of peek over, try and see what she's writing on. Or
Make me a
writing.
perception check.
Peeking.
Owen, you're not able to see. She pulls it too quickly. But Rue, you being like very like keyed in on this sort of thing, it's there's a big title there's a big title in at the top, and it says the Hawk of Greyhawk, and you catch a couple of words, and what you do catch seems to be a romance story of some sort.
Rue kind of leans in and she lowers her voice and she says, "If you ever need someone to proofread that, I love romance novels."
You see her and this is like a little halfling woman with her hair sort of done up in a bun. You see her like blush heavily. Sure. She quickly goes down to her bag and pulls out this big, long folder of parchment. Would you like to read these? These are completed ones. There must be about 100 sheets of parchment in here.
Sure. Takes off her backpack and just puts it in.
I've got a lot of time on my hands.
You are
Don't tell
very-
anyone.
You are very prolific.
Well, when you work the desk here, there's not a lot to do most days. Don't tell the captain, though. I'm sure he wouldn't be happy at all.
Yeah, you could end up in field work like I did.
That would be dreadful. Anyways, I think Trent's in, so you can go visit him.
Okay, thank you. Do we know the receptionist's name?
Yes, you do. Her name is Valerie Thornwhistle.
Thank you, Valerie. I'll let you know what I think. Just give my big backpack a pat. And then head over towards where the
The quartermaster,
Quartermaster.
the stockroom is, yeah.
Yes.
As you're passing through sort of the large open like desk area where you all have like your own desks where you can like write and file reports for after action reports, there's a gruff shout from the open office doorway. Waymark? Is this Goodell? In my office.
We're in trouble.
Uh-oh. That's our names. Rue just kind of starts blushing. She's like, "How do I look? Do I look okay?" Fixes her clothes up.
You look fine. I would be more worried what you look like after you come out of the office.
Oh no. And then she'll start moving that way.
Oh,
Right.
I'll follow her.
All right, you enter the captain's office. It's a pretty bare bones office, just a nice simple desk, a bookshelf in the back that carries various tomes, many of them labeled things such as How to Slay the Werewolf, or 101 Monsters and Where to Find Them, and all the such like that. There's also various, binder-esque things where he keeps sort of reports and whatnot.
Has Owen ever been in this office before?
Yes, you have.
Okay,
You have
so-
definitely been in this office after he chewed your butt out and put you on field duty.
That's true. Owen is a little fascinated by the bookshelf. He's browsing the titles.
There is a armor stand where a sort of a split mail furnished armor sits, as well as a large warhammer, and well, not a warhammer, a maul sort of leans against one corner. And there's a little portrait on his desk facing away from you. So, how's the investigation going? Anything turn up?
Rue kind of salutes whatever the Night Brigade salute is, and she just looks very stiff, and she's still red in the face, and she says, "Captain, we have discovered troubling things over in the uh, oh, and what was the part of town we were going to?
As Ryan searches through his notes, trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it again too. The foreign quarter, right?
Karen Court.
Karen Court, yes. We discovered that there appears to be a Wraith problem. So,
Wraith. Never liked him. Well, you dealt with the Wraith problem yet?
That would be a work in progress.
Yeah. You should get some silver. It's usually good for them if you're gonna be trying to whack it. He does not do this motion. He does not do this. That's not in his character.
That is a fantastic suggestion, sir. We are about to get right on that.
Yeah, Phoenix River should hopefully have some extra weapons that are silvered in the stockroom.
have you ever fought a Wraith, sir?
So sits there. About 30 years ago, I fought one. Real nasty bit of work. There was this cult where this whole like self-sacrifice thing went wrong, and there were actually like 3 of them, but they had also created a bunch of specters. Watch out for specters too. They'll pop out of nowhere and bite you in the ass. Although they don't actually physically bite you in the ass. They more like suck out your life force, which sucks. Took me days to get over some of that.
Oh, thank you, sir. And we did discover something else. And then she'll start to explain the whole potential ties to the Scarlet Brotherhood, the spy, and she's completely transparent about everything she just found.
You see him pinch his nose. Just had to be the Scarlet Brotherhood. Okay. When you're done fixing the Wraith problem, make sure you submit all that to the evidence room, and we'll pass that along to the City Watch. Because Scarlet Brotherhood, politics, that's all their jurisdiction. In fact, I recommend you can stay out of it. Stay out of politics. Stay out of all of that. That's best left to the City Watch, the nobles, and the Circle. Nothing good comes from politics. You got that, Waymark?
Sir, yes, sir.
All right.
Oh, and he'll mumble something under his breath to the effect of accept laws and civilization.
What was that? What was that, Sisgadel?
Nothing.
All right. Off with you. Try not to die. I wouldn't want to have to file all your death work.
That might
Sir,
actually
yes,
be
sir.
interesting.
All right, and you know that's
a half-assed salute and just wanders off.
You know that's the cue to leave. And you make your way to the quartermaster Tren Phoenix River, who is a gnome. He's always got the eternally singed eyebrows, giving him this like eternal surprised look on his face. And all right, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? You got a Wraith problem? You're gonna need some silver weapons. And basically you can fill out whatever silvered weapons you may need for this moment.
Okay. While Rue's collecting the items, Owen would be filling out the paperwork necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which he does make you sign. You do have to check it out, and you are required to return it.
Rue will essentially pick out whatever replacements are of what she has seen everyone use.
Okay.
So whatever Creighton's main weapon was, and whatever Veston's main weapon was, as well.
Easy enough to do. Is there anything else you'd like from the quartermaster?
Quartermaster, is there anything in here that might be something along of portable sunshine? She feels really dumb saying it out loud.
Oh, yeah, wraiths don't like sunlight. Oof. We're all out of sunlight spells. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Those four idiots who went down into the sewers. Sorry, getting real low. Those four idiots that went down to the sewers. They took the last one. I don't know why they need it. They could have just taken a normal light. That would have been fine. Yeah, no, all out of sunlight spells.
I think it'd be quite scary to see the sewers in the equivalent of sunlight. No details spared.
Yeah. But I didn't tell him that.
Well, thank you very much. Owen, do you think we need anything else?
I don't think so. Nothing comes to mind.
All right. Well, I think this will be it. And I sign here. Yes. Okay.
Yep. And it all comes back here. If it doesn't, it comes out of your paycheck. Well, out of your bounty check.
What if it comes back broken?
It partially comes out of your paycheck.
Okay, just thought I'd ask. I mean, some of us are clumsy.
Well, then try not to be clumsy. Man, I mean, like, don't be like Zit. Well, let's just say he hasn't got paid for like 3 months.
We'll try our best. Thank you.
All right, and I think, unless you would like to do anything else, do you all start heading back towards Karen Court? All right.
Yeah.
Creighton and Veston, you walk through sort of the park that borders the foreign quarter, across sort of a bridge that crosses over the river that runs through Greyhawk, small river that runs through Greyhawk here. Across the processional, the main road that travels the length of Greyhawk, through to Clerksburg, which is home to the temples and the university, as well as the library and the Colosseum. You make your way to the temple that you are, the temple of Saint Cuthbert, that Veston you are familiar with. And there's no mass at the moment, but there are people in the church praying, making offerings, Saint Cuthbert.
I'm sure Vester would probably know where Arbane is.
You would know where he would typically be. He does have an office in here. Of course, you know, he does sometimes step out, have errands, or get called to the upper temple or whatnot.
I guess Veston would probably ask one of the other priests or priestesses there if Arbane is around or in his office. So
You find a young priest there, an acolyte, really, still in training, and say, of course, Arbane is currently in his office. I think he was working on some paperwork.
Excellent. Thank you.
Of course, brother, Vagala.
Yes. Thank you, and may the blessings of oh Lord, just totally went
Saint,
blank out of
Saint
character.
Cuthbert.
Dave Cooper, be with you.
And with you as well, brother.
I guess. Do they like bless each other or no?
Not typically. There's not like
Oh.
between acolytes, between adherents. You know, you don't really bless each other. It's really more of a acolyte adherent to the common folk when you bless them. Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Come along, Creighton. But thank you again. We'll be off. So
And you can see that they now notice your big friend behind you and just like,
oh yes, official Night Brigade business. Exciting
course.
stuff.
very
We may
exciting.
need you possibly, but we'll see.
His eyes go big. He's like, I don't possibly. However, I may best serve you, brother Vagala.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I guess they'll make their way to the office, and then Vestin
Yeah.
will knock.
Yes. And there's sort of cloisters back here, and that's where Arbane's office is. Ah, yes, come in.
Vestin opened the door. Come on in, the Creighton. Our Father Urbane. I'm needing of some assistance and all nasty business, and I need your guidance. Well, and all.
Of course, Vestin. How may I help you?
Vestin will relay kind of the details, especially like not the full details, but of course about the specters and
Mhm.
about the possible Wraith and the
Mhm.
need of silver.
What is both of yours passive perception?
Passive perception.
14.
I think 2. Wait.
It's a 10. It's a 10 plus whatever your perception score is. It should be listed below your skills.
And I'm totally like blanking out. So perception 10 plus, so 12.
Okay, so 12. Okay. Noted. He looks at you and is like, ah, Night Brigade work, yes. As far as your wound goes, I cannot personally help you with that, but, I believe that cleric, Edliana is around. I believe that she may be able to help you with that. As
Excellent.
far as silver goes, all of the silver and gold that we have is either in monetary form, which goes towards the betterment of the church, as well as our help towards those who in need. And the only other form we have of it is in our there's a word for all of the sort of accoutrement that accompany sort of a church that I can't think of right now, but essentially our vestibules and candlesticks and the accoutrement of the church, the property of the church. So unfortunately I cannot help you there either. I can offer you some holy water, perhaps. If it is undead, it may help.
Well, we'll take any help here that you can give, and thank you so much for letting me know about cleric Eldiana.
Yes,
That's how you-
Edliana.
Okay.
Edliana.
Creighton,
Yes.
do you think that you could use a silver candlestick?
Anything can be a weapon.
The church is property is not available for use in battle, unfortunately.
Even if it is for a good cause. Okay, understandable.
Unfortunately, that is out of my hands.
Do you by chance know where Clerica Eldiana? I'm
Edliana.
sorry, I'm having Eliana.
Here,
is-
I'll type it out.
Okay,
Eliana, in the Roll20 chat.
okay.
Yes,
gonna
I
struggle.
believe that she was currently blessing some of the community in the side chamber of the church, main church building.
Excellent. And thank you very much, Father Arvane.
Of course, anything I can do to help, that is within my power.
Vestin will smile and be like, "Come on, Creighton, let's go see about the cleric. That way I can be my best."
Creighton, can you make me a perception check, please?
Sure. 20.
I think that it seems like Vestin exits first and Creighton follows just a moment after. And as you're turning away, you see the smile from Priest Arbane drop as he looks at you for but a moment. And you see just the beginnings of a sneer on his face as you turn away.
And I think, not quite out of earshot as we're leaving, it's like, he was not very helpful. Was he supposed to be your friend?
Yes, and mentor and advisor. I guess the church doesn't have very much knowledge of wraiths and specters, which is quite strange, I imagine.
What an incompetent church.
Well, that's why we have Owen, I suppose. But at least,
Vestin, can you make me a religion check, please?
Okay.
11.
11.
So you would know that stuff like dealing with demons and wraiths and stuff, those are mostly left to like clerics and paladins, and in your case, a divine soul sorcerer. Generally not left to the clergy, the non-arcane clergy.
Yes. Okay. But at least he knew about the cleric, so that would be able to help me, especially with the specter suckage thing. So yes.
Perhaps the cleric should be your mentor instead.
Well, if only the cleric was the one that had saved me and found on the steps years ago. But anyway, let's make haste to there, and then we can go meet them. And
I see. So you have a life debt to this man.
Yes, I do.
Interesting.
He's always been rather kind. But anyway, we're totally making our way to find the cleric. So, Eldiana.
Yep. Edliana. Yep.
Eldiana.
And you find her in sort of like a side. There's the main temple area where you can pray and make offerings, and then there's sort of, there's like the side chamber for confessional. There's the side chamber for baptisms and whatnot. Like sort of like that style thing. Not baptism the way we think of them, but sort of bringing people into the church. And she's in sort of the side chamber where you can meet with a few people, and there are several people who are, who had asked for her blessing, and sort of, I imagine you wait for her to finish her prayer and her blessing, before these people, shuffle off, and you hear, "May the light of St. Cuthbert be with you all." And they return the greeting and for the message and shuffle out.
Yeah, because Veston is gonna be rude and be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
away." So Ben Veston would approach. May I have a minute of your time, cleric?
Yes. How may I help you?
Yes. It's Veston, by the way. I don't know if we've seen each other, perhaps. But anyway, he'll relay the
I am. Are you member of the clergy here?
yes, Veston of Vigalia. I'm also the Night Brigade as well. So yes.
You're part of. I do um most of my work up at the main temple. And,
Oh,
yes, on Temple Heights, and but occasionally, we are required to make rounds to the churches in the mid and the lower district and the towns surrounding, and today was my day to come here, so um, down here giving blessings. Is there something I could help you with, Brother Vagella?
noble pursuit. To be sure, he'll relay about the specters and the wraith, and then
Yes,
Father Urbane directed me to you. So
yes, you do seem to have been touched by something very, very evil and dark. Please give me one moment so that I may help you. And she sort of holds up her holy symbol, which is this. It's sort of it's a cross where each of the ends are split on the cross around a circle with a concentric circle in the center, and then a gem all the way in the center of the cross as well. And she holds it up, and it begins to shine. And in her other hand, she reaches into a pouch and pulls out this very fine, sparkling dust. And she touches the symbol to your chest, and then she blows on the dust, and it sort of sparkles in the light that shines in through a window nearby. And it doesn't hit your face. It sort of burns up and disappears before it hits you. And you can feel that vitality returning to you. You still feel weak and tired, but you feel that you could be stronger. So your maximum hit points return. Your current hit points stay where they are.
okay.
Because this doesn't heal you, but it does remove the effect of the Vector's touch on you.
Awesome.
And says, "Saint Cuthbert, please banish the darkness that has touched one of your children, and send it away from the light of day." As you feel sort of, and you feel just this like, feel it leaving you, and you can actually even see a little bit of this sort of dark mist leaving you and then fading away with the dust that you blew. I believe that should have helped.
Oh yes, I feel much better, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, is there anything else I could help you with?
Creighton, can you think of anything?
Perhaps. You, competent one, perhaps you can join us on our mission. You may be of some help.
And what would that be?
I believe we are trying to kill a wraith.
Wraith.
It does not pay well, and you may die, but it may be fun.
looks at you. I unfortunately, I mean, I have been tasked with guarding, with attending to this temple, but there is undead about. I am required, and you can see sort of a conflicted look comes over her. Great. Would you like to make me a persuasion check here?
Sure.
And could I assist him, or
How are you assisting him?
I just knew it like in the private D&D games, that like I'm the game that I'm in.
No. How? Like, tell me how you're assisting him. Like, yes, you can try. But give me sort of like what you're doing to assist him here.
Maybe kind of reminding the cleric about how Saint Cuthbert was would always go out to battle the undead, and perhaps even the great Ulysses, the Ulysses also fought the undead whenever he had to.
All right, Creighton, you can make your check at advantage then. Unfortunately, I have been tasked by the High Priest to be here today. They are the voice of Saint Cuthbert, and thus I must do as they say. And it seems that Saint Cuthbert has already tasked a child of his upon this with Brother Vagala here. So I believe that you are in entirely capable hands. I do wish you the blessings of Saint Cuthbert, and know that what you do is right and justified, and that the darkness shall always bend before the light.
Yes.
She sort of nods to you.
Vestin will bow. Thank you.
Perhaps another time then.
Another time, Brother Valgela, if you're ever in the High Temple District, feel free to call upon our services there as should you need assistance.
Will do, and thank you again, and thank you for the blessings.
May the light of Saint Cuthbert be with you.
And may the light of Saint Cuthbert be with you as well. I know I'm floundering because I the religion.
We got you. And he sort of nods and motions another group of people who had been waiting for her at the door. And I will quickly put away the priest stat that I had to look up there for a moment because I was slightly worried. Yeah, and unless you would like to do anything else, you also return to...
I think as we're leaving, Creighton's like, she used the dust to heal you. Perhaps I should ask her about this bag of dust. As he holds out the bag of poison ivy.
It's worth a shot. I'm sure that she's may have experience with it. Or I'm not really sure if Father Urbane would, but perhaps she would. So give her a moment to do the blessings with those, because we don't want to be rude, because, you know.
Are you going to go ask her again?
Vestin just encouraged me, so I guess.
Okay. You wait the 15 minutes it takes for her to lead these folks through their sort of blessing and prayer. And you go back in. You return. Was there something else I could help you with?
Yes. I was wondering if you could tell me about this, as I saw you use dust to heal. And with the open
you intentionally get it in her face?
It's not intentional, it's just if it happens to.
If it happens to. Okay, roll me a 1d20, please. Let me just make sure they don't have anything that makes them 17. It does not fly into her face. Not enough. But she looks at it. Oh, would you like me to take a look at that?
Yes, please.
And she sort of takes a look and sort of looks at it and medicine check works here. That's a nat one. She's like, she's like, I'm not sure what it is, and so she like sticks her finger in it and just like just the lightest like taste test, just oh, don't think if this is some sort of medicine, it is medicine most foul. I do not think this is going to be healing anyone. What I was using was diamond dust. To heal brother Valgella here. And it is part of the ritual, the spell casting. It does not have any healing properties inherent of itself, but through the dust I am able to work my magic to remove the darkness from brother Valgella here. She starts like blinking rapidly while looking at you all. Yes, was there anything else I could help you with?
The last person seemed to have seen demons with this. Perhaps he's just insane.
I'm sorry, demons?
Yes.
She's like blinking very rapidly. No, not. I'm sorry. Is this medicine?
Possibly not.
She takes a moment, and she starts fumbling for her bag at the side, to grab her thing, and she touches herself, makes some things about Saint Cuthbert. Please remove any poison from your servant. And then you see her eyes blink again and look at you all. I would not recommend giving that to anyone. It's not good for anyone. I'm not going to ask where you got that. Now, I do believe I have some work to be doing, unless there's anything else I could help you with. And you can see she looks a little, just not necessarily annoyed, but just like her patience is a little tried right now.
We thank you for your time, and thank you for telling us about the powder as well.
Most certainly. Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
You just see her just like pinching her nose as you leave.
A shame. Perhaps we shall need to perform more tests to find out what it is.
Well, at least she didn't see demons, so
Yes.
as we're walking back to
Mhm.
the place.
So Rue and Owen, you arrive first back at the manse, and you can see that there has been an increase of guard in perimeter around it. You can see the dwarf guard looking very chagrined now. Most likely having been chewed out again, but the guard has increased, but they are keeping a distance from the manse. You wait about another hour as the sun is beginning to set, as sort of the orange glow is cast across the sky and shadows begin to form from the buildings around you as the sun is dipping lower to the west. And that is about when the Vestin and Creighton show up. The sun is probably going to set in the next 10 to 20 minutes. Vestin, is there any healing you would like to do before you start? You do have a healing potion. Well,
Yes, I would like to use it.
okay. I believe that is 1d4 plus 2, I want to say.
If I
Double
click
check.
on it, will it do it or no?
I don't think so. I don't think I have it keyed up to do that. Unless you have it keyed up to do that.
I don't. Just
Okay.
roll one.
Healing potion. Let me just double check exactly, but I believe it's 1d4 plus sorry, 2d4 plus 2. 2d4 plus 2.
2 plus 2. Then
So you-
6.
Alright, so you regain 6 hit points from that.
Okay, and can I go ahead and just drink one more as well? Because I have 2.
Okay, so you took one of your other items you took was a healing potion? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
Right. And you all regroup.
There you are. Here. Captain, the swords and daggers. They're silver. Here you go.
Creighton, you get I believe you use a greatsword, correct?
Battle axe.
Battle axe.
Hmm.
You've got a silvered battle axe.
Thank
Rue, you have silvered daggers. I think Vestin and Owen also get like silvered daggers just in case as well.
Yeah, it's more like a pocket knife.
Yeah. Vestin, do note that you do have one small vial of holy water that
Okay.
Arbane gave you.
Alright.
Alright. And as the sun is starting to set, is there anything else you would like to do to prepare?
Creighton, perhaps throwing that powder at the Wraith may do something? Or just like maybe have the Wraith sniff it? Maybe?
Perhaps. But if it's poison, it may not be effective.
Okay.
At
Just a
least
thought.
according to Owen.
Yeah. I don't believe any poisons would be effective against this creature.
Okay.
At the last possible second, Owen will cast Mage Armor.
Did you cast Mage Armor earlier?
I did, but I figured it'd spend more than 8 hours.
No, I think it's been maybe 7 at this point since you cast it. Because you cast it when you got to the house, correct?
That's correct.
Alright, and you got to the house a little after noon. So I would say you still have the last, like, an hour on it.
Okay, then
Yeah.
forget I said anything.
Yeah, I think you would still have, because it is 8 hours. And I'm not gonna cheat you out of a spell slot if you have it. But yeah, so you'll still have it.
Cool.
Could Vestin go ahead and cast the armor of Agathis?
Yeah, let me just double check. How long does that last?
Let me.
That lasts 1 hour as well, so yeah, so you can do that as well.
Okay.
So note that you cast it at first or second level?
First level because that's what I got in slot. So there we go.
So you do gain. Note that you have 5 temporary hit points,
Okay.
and remember that you have it.
Okay. So
Um,
5 temporary hit. So that adds to my current hit points as well.
No. It's just you go down. There should be a box below your HP that says temporary HP, and you just you enter 5 there.
Okay.
Temporary HP gets removed first, and you don't heal it back.
Okay, I got you.
And anything else?
Yes. Perhaps I should wait in this tree. Maybe ambush the Wraith.
Are you climbing the tree?
Yes, I'm attempting to call a tree.
Roll me an athletics check, please. 12. So you have like like a longer snake, body, right? Correct. So you're able to sort of like coil your way up and around the tree, sort of in the way like snakes do. Like as they climb, they kind of try to wrap and go up. And you are able to get into the branches of this tree. All right, Rue, is there anything you would like to do in this moment?
Rue looks at Crichton up in the tree and says, "Should I get in the tree?" This is... I'll hide behind the tree.
Yes.
All right,
Begin.
roll me a sneak, a stealth, a stealth. Okay, 11. Noted. So, as the sun finally sets and darkness is cast across Greyhawk, and lights are lit, gas wicks are lit in the city. Although the only ones lit around you are the ones that the guards themselves have decided to light, as whoever normally would light the lanterns in, whoever would normally light the lanterns here is maybe too afraid to go out. When the final vestiges of the sun disappear in the horizon, the Wraith appears in the center of the garden. That's where we're going to take a quick break. All right, everyone. We're going to take a really quick break, about 5 to 10 minutes here, and we're going to go get some water, take a stretch. We encourage you to get some water, take a stretch those legs. Also like to remind everyone that, we have a Discord that you all can join and talk about this afterwards. And, we always appreciate hitting that follow and / or subscribe button up there. But yeah, we will be right back. And we're back. Hope everyone had a good break, got some water, got something to drink, because you're gonna need it as we jump into combat with a Wraith. So, let me transition over to the combat screen.
Are we on the?
So, Creighton is in the tree. Rue, so you can click and drag your, icon, sort of over where you would be on this map, and you can position yourself wherever you would like. All right. Then just
I'm having issues.
click your name and drag it onto the battle map. Your character sheet. Not from your character sheet, but from the journal. There you go. All right, and then just click and move it to where you would be. Preparation for this. All right. Cool. So, this specter, this wraith, appears from the ground, this sort of dark shadow looming up through the ground, almost as if smoke is beginning to take shape. I'm going to roll a quick check for it real quick. Okay. I need everyone to roll initiative, please. All right. So, we have Owen, and then we have Vestin, and then we have Rue, and then we have Creighton.
How does the squishy wizard go first?
Squishy Wizard is apparently bigger, like on the catch, faster.
Cause Snake Boy's stuck in a tree.
Now, this Wraith rolled a very high perception check. So unfortunately, you don't get a surprise round on it. And it also goes first. So it sort of rises up, and it looks around, and it sees you all, and it spins, twists, like its body definitely contorting in a way not a normal one. It's got these sort of long, smoke-like hands with these sort of wicked, claw-like smoke appendages made out of it. And it looks at you all, and it just sort of screams at you. And gonna roll a d3 because I'm not sure who would go after first. So Owen, it turns towards you, and it sort of moves up on you, and moves up on you, and it sort of reaches out with its spectral, dark, smoky hand and attempts to slash you with it. I'm going to guess a 20 hits.
Yeah, just a little.
Sort of shouts in your face as it is going to do Oofa. It's going to do 18 points of necrotic damage. Are you still up?
I'm unconscious.
You are unconscious. So, you all see Owen just immediately go down as this thing slashes across. Oof. Owen, can you make me a Constitution save, please? Eight. Alright.
You were only joking earlier about a TPK, right?
I was joking! I was legitimately joking. Your hit point maximum is reduced to 0.
I'm dead.
You are dead. At the moment. Owen, it would have been your turn. But we move on to Vestin. You see Owen go down immediately to this thing.
And my cure wounds does nothing, correct?
Your cure wounds would do nothing here, no.
Actually, at this point, the only thing that would bring me up is Revivify.
And yeah, I don't have that. I'd go ahead and cast Firebolt on the Wraith because, yeah.
Firebolt? Okay.
Yeah, because
Alright, roll your attack on that.
And it'll be 0 cantrip, correct?
Yeah, it's a cantrip. Yep.
Okay.
So,
that's,
+5, right? I believe is your spellcasting modifier.
I believe so. It's we did it before. I just forgot what it was. So roll
1d20 +5.
25.
Wow! Nat 20. So you are going to roll me 2d10.
2d10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, forgot the roll. $11.
11 points. So the fire sort of hits it and passes through it, and you see it like sort of shift and move around. It shifts and moves around, and there is a little bit of it noticing that, but it doesn't seem like fire does a lot to it. So it only takes 5 points of damage from that.
Okay.
Would you like to do anything with your...
I like to move a little ways away from it.
Okay. Alright.
So here.
Alright. So you move outside the wall there. To around
Yeah.
the corner. Yeah, around the corner from the wall. Alright. That brings us to Rue. You also see Owen just go and then falls down. And you can see that his body looks as if it's lost.
Rue will shout out, Owen! Oh, sorry. She will shout out, Owen! And then she will run up. I'm guessing there's space under the tree for her to be able to run up there.
Yeah. That's just the
And-
top of the tree there.
Then she will attack the Wraith with the silvered daggers.
Alright. Make me a dagger attack, please.
Okay. Oof. And she'll use her offhand as the other dagger.
Yeah, so that first one misses as it sort of slices through and hits nothing. Make your offhand attack.
A 15.
15 is going to hit it. All right, and you do 7 points of damage, and you feel you can see your silver dagger as it flashes in the sort of the faint lantern light. You can see the form like get ripped away as your dagger crushes through it, and it screams at you now. Anything else, Rue?
Nope. Rue will freak out.
All right, Creighton, you're up.
Yes. Creighton, seeing Owen go on, he'd be like, no! And go into a rage immediately. So when he goes into the rage, let's see.
Also, I forgot to mention that the weapon and the silvered weapon ended up doing double damage. So,
Ooh.
So it would have done a total of 19 points of damage. I mean, not 19, sorry. It would have done 14 points of damage. Right. So it needs to make a dexterity save.
Mm-hmm. Half damage on save.
All right. It does save, so it is going to take. It is going to take 2, which I think it might reduce to 1 because it is resistant to lightning as well. So it sort of shocks, and you can see a bit of smoke puff, but it doesn't seem to have mind that. That was your bonus action, correct?
Yes, and so Creighton's gonna try and jump down and reckless attack.
All right.
So I would have advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But it would also have advantage against me. Oof.
So 24 is definitely going to hit. Roll your damage. All right, so 7. So you would also do 14 points of silvered magic damage to this thing. And it does not like that as well, as it turns and screams in your face as well. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No, I believe that's all I can do.
All right. That brings us back to the Wraith. It did not like what either of you did. So. It is, actually, it doesn't turn exactly, but it points a finger at Owen's body, and it makes a curling motion with it up as a white spectral form forms out of Owen's body. And see a specter raise from Owen's body, shrieking its own shriek as well. It needs to roll some initiative. Okay, noted. Dustin, it is your turn. You see this white spectral form raise up out of... I'm actually going to retcon for a moment. Owen, I need you to make me a... This isn't Constitution. You know what, we're just going to use your spellcasting modifier. Make me... What your spellcasting modifier is Intelligence, right? Make me an Intelligence save. Even though you're dead, I'm well aware of that.
You said a save?
Yes, an Intelligence save, please. 21. You all see the specter begin to rise out of Owen's body. And then there is this darkness that pools behind Owen. And it reaches up, and this fine, pale hand reaches out of this darkness and grabs the form of the specter and pulls it back down into Owen's body. That's what happens. Veston, what do? You see that?
So is he up and about now? Or...
No, he's not up and about. Body's still down. That pool of darkness also disappeared when it pulled his wraith back into his specter back into the body. The wraith looks confused. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm confused as well because out of character I have no idea. So can I do a religion check or any kind of check to see about if Veston would know what's going on? Or
I don't think this is a check you're gonna.
Okay.
You're gonna, yeah. Also, there's a wraith still there.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no,
Do
this
I
isn't
need to-
this isn't a check that I think you would be able to make.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can cast on the Wraith without in danger of hitting Rue, correct?
Yeah, easy enough. Rue is not the largest form in the world. You wouldn't try to take cover behind Rue.
Okay. So I'm gonna fire off another firebolt
Alright.
at it.
All right.
So that's 1d20 plus 5.
Yep.
Oh, so yeah, 7 probably does.
7. Yeah, it goes wide and hits the shack, and the shack actually starts to smolder a bit. Don't forget, you do have your favored by the gods thing. If you would like to roll 2d4 to see if it'll hit,
Okay. So
would you like to use that now?
sure.
Now this is fire bolt, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
6.
So 6 plus 7, 13. Unfortunately, it just still goes barely wide. This time it hits against because it's slightly higher, it hits against the glass and doesn't do anything of the greenhouse. Any bonus actions?
I just stay where I'm at, going like, Owen, Spectre, back in body. Don't know.
All right. Veston is clearly that frazzled by whatever just happened. Rue, you also see Owen's specter get pulled back into its body by this pale hand that rose up out of a dark pool of darkness.
Rue will scream, ah, and then stab the specter.
Stab the wraith.
Wraith, yes,
Yeah.
not the specter, the wraith.
All right. 18's gonna hit. Roll your damage. 10. So that's gonna do 20 points of damage.
And then she'll swipe up with her offhand.
Thing did not like that as it once again just shrieks in your face. 22 is also gonna hit. Roll your damage.
Okay, I think sneak attack only goes on
On the-
ones.
Yeah, 1 hit. So
Okay.
3, so an additional 6. As this thing turns towards you and just definitely doesn't like the silvered weapons. Creighton, you're up.
Yeah. So does Creighton also see the hand or no?
Yep, yeah, you all saw that. It's very strange.
So seeing the hand, Creighton would be like, "Ah, good. Owen killed a specter while laying down. Ah." And he'll reckless attack the. Oh wait, first is I can do the bonus action to rage again.
Mhm.
Can I do that?
Do you
the
need
rage.
to do the
Yes,
rage
well-
damage? Yeah.
No, because
Sorry,
the
so-
rage goes on for a minute, but I can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, to do
Wait.
the save.
Yeah.
It does not save on that one, so it is going to take
3
3
damage.
points of lightning damage.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And then that reckless attack. 17.
Alright. 17 is going to hit as well. So
Oh.
H. So 16 more points of damage.
Oh, take that, Wraith.
All right. And yeah, okay. That brings us to Wraith's turn. You have 1 attack right now. That brings us back to its turn. It is going to scream at you, Creighton. And is going to attempt to attack you with its claws.
It has advantage.
Mm-hmm. What's the armor class?
15.
15. That was a nat 1 and a 5. So total. So its modifier is not going to get it up to a 15 as it reaches out, but it seems like as if chunks of it have been torn out by its by the silvered weapons, and it just seems like it doesn't like it as it's just shrieking at you, unsure of why what it was doing was not working. Vestin, you're back up.
Let me unmute. Let me use my sorcery points, which is
Okay.
3, to
Okay.
get my scorching ray back out.
Okay. All right.
And
So that
then
is
I want
3 rays, correct?
that is.
All right. So roll 1d20 plus 5 3 times.
Alrighty.
And I think you can do these all in a row since there's only 1 target to hit here.
Okay.
17, 9, and 18. So 2 of those hit. So roll the damage for 2 of them.
So that's the 2d4, correct? Or is it the 2d10,
what does the-
I believe?
What does the spell say?
Let me get that and 2d6.
Per ray?
Yes.
Okay, so then you're going to be doing 4d6.
Okay. 4d6.
All right,
One.
15 points. Now again, that fire sort of dissipates and seems to spread and move throughout it and doesn't seem to do as much. But its form has begun to... let's see, that would be 8. So, all right, its form has definitely begun to dissipate and begin to wisp away in bits. It does not look good. Rue, you're up.
Rue will continue to scream and flail silver daggers.
10 is not going to hit. Roll your offhand. 19 will definitely hit. So,
Are you sure that's your offhand?
Yes, it doesn't get the plus dex to the damage.
I'm joking.
yeah, no.
Oh.
He was making you seem to hit with your offhand more than your dominant hand.
Oh, I see.
As you do 10 more points of damage. And how do you want to do this?
So Rue probably has color draining from her face and she looks kind of pale now. And she literally just starts going like, just going crazy with the daggers, trying to make it shredded as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not elegant at all, and it looks kind of childish, but she is freaking out.
Yeah. Okay. And it dissipates as you slash through it with one final scream. Just this tortured, just piercing cry. as the smoke fades away and the Wraith is vanquished. But Owen does still lie, still on the ground. Owen, feel this darkness come over you. And there's a peace in it for a moment. Death is but another facet of life, especially for those who are well versed in the necromantic ones. And then you feel coldness flow through you. Feel your spirit being pulled from your body violently, as if someone has reached into you and is trying to force you out. And then a wave of not calm, but apathy sort of washes over you as you feel hands seem to grip yours and pull you back. You find yourself in darkness. And you hear a voice. My child, it seems you have found your way to me quite early. As this pale, white, raven mask appears out of the darkness, enormous, larger than life. No face behind it, no eyes, no mouth, but this mask and this voice. Tell me, do you think it is your time?
I think that's your decision.
An interesting answer. For one who seems to meddle in my work. I am aware of your skills, shall we say, chosen form of the arcane. Part of me says, good. Child will return to me in the Shadowfell, where they belong, where I can set them on the right path. Is that what you would like, Owen?
I honestly don't know. It does have its appeal.
It certainly does. Then there is part of me that, well, I have been away, not as aware of Earth as of late. Things are being set in motion. Things I can hear the echoes of, but cannot see yet. It is worrisome when a god cannot see something. Is it not, Owen?
Yes. For us mortals, it's terrifying.
I imagine. But your lives are so fleeting. Well, not your life. You may be young, though you are. But when you die, you come back to me. Come back to serve me. When others die, they sometimes come to me. Sometimes I send them to my brethren, whether it be hell or heaven. But they always come through me. I need a pair of eyes and ears. Where you are right now, Owen. I need a champion of sorts. Some would call them reapers. Would you like to go back, Owen?
I think I still have things to learn.
Indeed you do. Well, I shall send you back. But it is not without cost. You will take care of some things for me. I will let you know what those are when the time comes. Should you fail, well, I am the goddess of life and death. I can bring you back anytime I wish.
Then let us hope I don't fail, and I continue to serve.
Indeed. Your parents will be proud, Owen.
I'm sure.
Let us not make this type of meeting a regular one. As this pale, spectral hand reaches out of the darkness, and almost like strings being cut from a puppet, you fall. Then you find yourself lying on the cold ground, looking up at night sky, surrounded by Rue and Creighton and Veston. You all three see Owen take a breath, and his eyes open.
So that's what it feels like. Ow.
Look, Owen, he's alive.
I'm sure Vestin is probably yelling at the the the, the
The guard.
guard
Yeah.
to go get clerics and like hurry the hell up.
And
When he hears the breath.
yeah. And one of them promptly goes off to find a cleric because they all heard the shrieking and the battle and the whatnot.
Of course he's alive. He killed the Spectre.
I'm sorry to tell you, that probably wasn't me.
Then who was it?
If I had to guess, I would say it was the Raven Queen.
Best, you can make a religion check if you would like. Anyone proficient in religion as well? Any of you are? 20. You've heard of the Raven Queen. Not much, but she's an old god. Very, very old. Some say as old as time itself. No one quite knows how or when she came into existence, obviously. Even among the eldest of races. She is the goddess of life and death. She is the weigher of souls, the reaper of the dead.
Good to have you back.
Yes. I don't want to do that again anytime soon.
Uh, do I see the necrotic damage still on him, or
He looks weak, but healthy.
okay?
Oh, where did the Queen run off to? Didn't get a chance to thank her for her help.
She's not far. Though I imagine if you wanted to, you could simply thank her out loud.
Thank you, Raven Queen, for your assistance and our friend Owen returning to us.
I
You
prefer
hear
to
the
give thanks when looking him in the eye.
caw of a raven nearby.
Believe me, Creighton, you don't want to be looking her in the eye.
Rue turns towards the raven. Thank you.
Do you speak to animals, Rue?
Sometimes.
Interesting. Such an odd group.
The guard comes running at this moment, and there is an elderly man with them. Well, a man, but an elderly halfling man, male halfling. Yes, yes, I'm coming. Okay, what's this? All this about? Someone heard. Yes, hello. Yes.
Vestin will point at Owen.
Honestly, I hurt, but I'm alive. How are the
Look like
rest
you've
of you?
seen better days, son.
You're not wrong.
Well, told someone was dead. All of you look quite alive. So, where's the
Owen
dead
will
person?
Owen will reach up to his neck and feel for a pulse.
He
It's there.
got
Just
better.
very slow. Budum. 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 Did one of you revive him? Then? As he like waves a hand over you and heals you for like 8 hit points. Just as like a cure wounds. So I guess I prepared for a resurrection unnecessarily then.
It would appear so. Believe me, the effort is not unappreciated.
Well, I was woken up for no reason, so I'm going to go back to my house and sleep. Thank you for disturbing me.
Thank you for coming anyway, even though your services were
Yes.
needed, but yet didn't quite stick.
Yes. May Erroneous be in your hearts. Blah, blah, blah.
I may delight of St. Cuthbert guide you to real rest tonight.
Where's it one?
Good sir.
And
Hopefully, the screaming will stop now.
And you're welcome for the disturbance.
Young kids, St. Cuthbert folks always need help. Grumble, grumble, grumble. He like hitches up his robes and like stalks away angrily.
So, Brew, what do you call that finishing move that you did to the Wraith?
Oh, oh, um, that's called the Owen. I don't know. For a second there, Owen, you looked. Well, I'm glad you're okay. I was worried.
well, I apparently missed you finishing the Wraith. I appreciate that you did.
Yes, they're very amazing at stabbing it. So they did a really good job, like much better than I did. So, go team.
Yes. As usual, when you hit something hard, it tends to fall.
So the silver weapons work then?
Looked like it.
Guards look in. Everything good in here?
I think we're done.
Good. Good. Way to do your jobs.
Yes. Before we go, though, I would like to perhaps sprinkle some holy water where the Wraith fell, by chance.
Okay. You do.
So
And
Festin knows.
there is a steam rises from the ground from where this wraith fell. The holy water touches the land that had become not necessarily corrupted, but blighted in a way on the wraith's arrival.
Well, that's a relief. Hopefully, this helps it not coming back and help. Perhaps we can send for a druid or so to help with the ground. Not my department, I'm afraid. Not.
And I think we skip forward a scene here to Captain Derriman's office. Later that night, you make your report. And he's gruff, but he says good job to all of you. Good lead. Rue, don't forget to turn in the after-action report. Return all your equipment to the quartermaster, or he will track you down and take you for everything you're worth. Do not play poker with him. And remember to drop off everything at the evidence locker.
Did we actually collect any evidence?
Did.
Outer.
Because Rue
That's true.
mentioned the journals and stuff.
Right.
So, I imagine you return your stuff to the quartermaster? Right. Rue, do you turn in everything to the evidence locker?
Ooh, okay. Rue would probably, unless someone brought it up and started talking about it, she would probably prioritize that last. Because I think she would be obsessing over the decipher. When she did spend some time earlier, did she basically decipher the whole journal, or was it most of it?
You deciphered the whole thing.
Oh, okay. She would keep the she would make a copy of the decipher key.
Mhm.
And then she would turn in everything else, including I have written here that we have several papers that were accompanied with the journal and a signet ring.
A signet ring, yes, with the wavy cross on it.
So she would have made a charcoal rubbing of that, so she can have a.
Then you also
picture of
found
it.
another signet ring with the other journal that had a sparrow on it.
Okay. She'll make a charcoal rubbing of that one too.
Eventually finish the report. Everyone else has probably gone home at this point. The four idiots come in covered in swamp muck and...
I think Creighton used an open bag of that poison he found in the evidence locker.
He leaves it open on their desk?
Was that where the evidence locker is?
Oh, you put it in the evidence locker?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the four idiots come in covered in sewer muck, and you turn in everything to the evidence locker. And we fade away from the end of that scene to another day. Sometime soon. Sometime within the next day or two. Creighton, you are meeting with your black market contact. This little chipper gnome, bright green hair, named Lilifina.
So, Lilithina, have there been any whispers on the street about the missing Yuanti?
You know this ain't how it works. You give me something, I give you something. What have you got? What little info have you got on the streets?
Hmm. I heard the Scarlet Brotherhood is smuggling in drugs.
Interesting. Didn't know it was the Scarlet Brotherhood, but that makes some sense to what I've been hearing on the streets. Fine. I heard something. There's there's the warehouse down in the lower wharf where some sightings of some Gaily folks been seen being shuffled in, and there's some sort of escort. Yeah, this is the address. She pushes a sheet of paper over to you.
Thank you. Do we know who the escort is?
No idea. Just some rumors running around on the street. The merchant saw something.
They usually do. No one pays attention to the urchins.
Yeah, except for me. Why I know.
Well, if I may be of service, you know where to find me.
Kind of hard to miss. She like slaps you on your like tail side. Shouldn't have done that. Forgot how tough those are. You follow up this lead.
Yeah, he would. Like, he wouldn't go straight. He'd probably scope out the area, just, you know, since it's just rumors, not like barging in or anything, just watching the area for a while to see if he sees anything.
You don't see any activity for the number of days that you would stake it out. There are urchins and beggars who make their way through here, occasionally someone making their way through to a different warehouse, but you don't see anyone coming or going from this warehouse. No lights in the evening, no activity as far as you're aware.
When you say no activity, is it like suspiciously empty for a busy wharf?
Yeah, you would think that this warehouse doesn't look like it's in like disrepair or anything, so clearly it's in some sort of someone's been keeping it up. And you would think that it is a pretty busy wharf. So most warehouse space would be used and used regularly. So
Right. So Curtin probably check it out one night. Probably trying to sneak in just to see what he could see.
the door is locked. How do you get through the door?
The way he gets through every door, he breaks the lock.
You break through. It's easy enough. Nothing spectacular. You find an empty warehouse inside. You search through this warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
You search through it, and there's a couple, what look like office rooms in the back. Little attached to it. And search, and there are markings that appear to be of people having moved through here in the last maybe week or two. Some of them are more slithery. There is one thing you find, though. In a dusty corner that most would ignore. Find a ripped piece of canvas, cloth. And on that piece of canvas is a cross, wavy arms. Vess,
Yes.
believe that we would find you gardening. Okay.
He would probably be at the greenhouse to trying to catalog everything that they found there. So he would be definitely taking, perhaps trying to take custody of it. So especially for the potions and everything.
Mhm.
So he's all about cataloging and trying to transfer it over to the temple so it can be given out in different herbs and that type of thing.
You're tending to it, and you find in the, you find quite a few. Like in the greenhouse itself are some very rare medicinal herbs, and then there's a couple out in the garden that would definitely be helpful. The City Watch give you some hell for a day or two as they process sort of a crime scene, essentially, but eventually they are
Is it the same dwarf that we've been dealing with as well?
for the first bit, yeah, he like sees you walk in the first time, and he goes and gets like the captain, or a lieutenant, and um, we see them sort of, eventually work out. Like a priest is brought in, and eventually it's worked out with the temple that this should go towards helping people. So you're sort of given charge of that, and you're
Okay.
cataloging it. And you look down at something as you figure out what you're going to do with it, and then you look up, and you're not in this garden. You're in a beautiful, well tended to flower garden. There are paths moving out from where you are lined with flowers, most of which are white. There are some yellow and red and pink. There's a slight glow to everything, as if you were looking through a lens. Far edges of your vision are almost completely white. When you turn, it sort of seems to move with you.
Did I accidentally sniff some of that powder that Creighton and there we've been like testing? Or was it some of that in the greenhouse? I guess Veston would keep walking to explore.
You walk, and it's very peaceful, it's serene, there's a sense of calm here. And then you hear a voice. Hello there, Vestin.
Hello?
You turn and you see walking through a arch, like a wooden arch that's covered in ivy. A human man. A plain looking human man. Head shaved. Middling height. He's dressed in white priestly vestments. Got sort of the basic
Well,
robes, and then sort of a tabard on top, and then the scarf that sort of trails down. And you'd recognize him.
okay.
You've seen his statue in your church. Seen paintings of him. You
Chief Birds or I'm sorry, I'm maybe missing it.
you this is Saint Ulysses.
Oh, okay. Saint Ulysses? Did I bump my head in the garden? Because
Now, I wanted to talk with you.
Oh,
Mm.
I I he'll kind of like take off his dirty gloves and put them like in his
You
pocket,
look
and
down and
then
your gloves are actually immaculate at the moment.
oh well, um, I he'll also like look over and make sure that he's not dirty because it is Saint Ulysses that he's meeting. So he kind of is like, uh, I am honored that you want to talk to me, Saint Ulysses. I've been a ardent student of you and live by your example. Then you then you want to like talk to me?
Yes, I have. Well, our God is aware of you. You are part divine, after all. It would be strange for you to not have a guide for your powers.
So I've been told you're gonna be my guide.
Of a sorts. But tell me, Dustin, what do you want?
Uh, to serve the church and also the garden. Um, he's really kind of confused by the question. He's just like,
Alright, that. How do you want to serve the church?
um, in your image or your example. It's part of the reason why I joined the Night Brigade. Uh, Similar to how you went on your adventures, only it's more local versus yours was more worldly. But it's a start. Um, I but I pardon if
What
I'm a
is.
little taken aback. It's not every day that you're asked by your uh hero of what do you want.
I. I was just a mortal like you are for a long time. Do not be. We are brothers in the light.
Very very true. And
Let me
Veston is
rephrase my. Oh, go ahead.
smiling and kind of like beaming and just like kind of gushing of like basically when you meet your hero. So
Mhm. Let me rephrase my question then. What is your ideal? Why? Why do you do what you do?
because it's for the right thing to do, and also because I've been told that I'm part divine, so it just makes sense that I do the right thing.
That will have to be the first lesson you must learn. Doing the right thing for right thing's sake without knowing why it is right can be as dangerous as doing the wrong thing. Is how good men are led astray, the blind
Vegetable.
leading the blind, or so they say.
I see. I see. I never thought of it that way. Uh, Truly, you are wise. I am very grateful that you're now my mentor of a sorts.
I wish for you to reflect and meditate, think about what I have asked you today, and why the right thing is the right thing. And trust Arbane. He is a good mentor and doing important work for St. Cuthbert. And he will need your help in the coming months.
I will do.
Good. And I believe this conversation is at an end for today. I will be in touch with you as he starts to walk away and flowers sort of move away or like sort of light his path. Can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Sure. Where are those?
Those are above your skills on the left-hand side.
Okay, and wisdom?
Wisdom saving throw. Yep.
12. I'm surprised.
There is a moment as your vision begins to fade where you see this garden and it is dead. All the flowers are wilted and gray. And there is a darkness walking away from you. And then it's gone. And you find yourself in the greenhouse.
Odd, but I gotta. Perhaps it's because I'm here, and perhaps I need more holy water because the Wraith is like damaging the division of Saint Elise.
And as you're saying that, we pan away and we find Rue. What is Rue up to outside of work and being home?
Rue is obsessing over various things. First, she has gone to a bookstore. I don't know if libraries are a thing.
There is a
Okay.
very large library here.
Okay, she would go to a library. And she would try to remember some of the names of the plants that she didn't recognize. She would
Okay.
try to do some research on them.
Roll me a nature check. Sorry, no, an investigation check because you're doing research.
Okay.
You find one or two of them. Some of them are for influencing people or making people more open to persuasion, perhaps. Stuff along that line.
Okay. After she's happy with that, she would try to see if she could find anything about the Scarlet Brotherhood in the books.
Make me one more investigation.
Okay.
So there is it's not hard to find stuff about the Scarlet Brotherhood because they have been a very well documented power in the Greyhawk Wars. They attempted to use the sort of the chaos of the Greyhawk Wars when Hughes was moving south and trying to conquer Floness to also try to usurp power and bring the Brotherhood into power. It is a group of they're known as the Sules and Sueles. They believe in that their people are the rightful rulers of the world, that they should be the ones in power. They're considered a cult to some, a political power to others. They signed the Greyhawk Accords in the peace afterwards, and have since then kept quiet. They are mostly from they mostly are from the north west. That's where their sort of power base is. Um, and as you're searching through this, looking for more, you hear a familiar voice from nearby. Rue, hey, Rue. As you hear and see Captain Henri.
Oh, Rue just she's like taking notes and she's just flipping, taking notes. And she hears his voice and she just freezes. Her face turns beet red. She just doesn't move. Maybe if she doesn't move, he'll just walk right past her.
It's been a little while, Rue. How have you been?
Oh, Henri, hey. Hi. And then she'll close the book and she's gonna like try to subtly cover up whatever like the title of the book and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I heard you got that promotion.
Oh, yeah. I've been made captain of the River Quarter garrison.
Yeah, good work. Yeah.
Thank you. How have you been? You're still working with the Night Brigade?
Yeah. I got put in charge. I know that might be hard to believe, but I led a squad. Yeah.
Why would I find that hard to believe? You were good at what you did. You were dedicated to your work. You would have
Oh my
eventually
god.
been promoted in the guard.
Rue just starts coughing really hard. And she just looks can't look at him. She's looking down at her paper. Uh-huh. Yeah. Thanks.
Anyways, I'd love to catch up more, but I'm actually here on work, but um we should catch up sometime. Also, um I don't know how you know her, but Commander Bruda, commander of the mid district city watch, said she wanted to see you.
So
She said to pass along the message.
Rue goes from being blushy and nervous and anxious, and her hands kind of just still, and she just stares at the table. She has a very distant stare, and the color begins to drain from her face. And she begins to get pale, and she says, "Did you say Bruda?"
Yeah, Commander Bruda. She was promoted pretty recently too. Furthermore, actually, I think I'm taking her old garrison.
Oh.
Yeah, Commander now.
Oh.
But yeah, she said she wanted to talk with you. I guess you two knew each other from when you were in the City Watch. Anyways, I just wanted to pass the message along. But yeah, we should definitely catch up sometime.
Okay. Yeah. You take care.
And he leaves, walking off through the stacks. Does Rue go meet Commander Bruda at any point?
Oh man. Hmm. No?
No.
No. Not Bruda. Rue would go home immediately after that,
Mm-hmm.
double check all of the doors and windows in her house. And as she's like, she's got like armfuls of books, and she's just kind of staring over her shoulder as she's scuttling along the way home.
It's a day later. You are on your way home from doing work for the guild. when you hear a familiar voice. Private, Waymark. Good evening. As you see Bruta stepping out of a nearby building.
Oh, hey, Bruta. How's it going? I mean, Commander.
Oh, you heard about my promotion? Yeah, that came in a couple months back. How have you been, Rue?
Rue's kind of looking around, like as if looking for an escape path. I'm fine. Just been working. I'm actually in the middle of some work right now.
Good. You're still with the Night Brigade, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Good. And as you look around, there's no one on this street. There's no sound. Hey, I need you to do something for me.
Of course. What can I do for you?
Well, see, there's been a book, a journal, a ledger of sorts that recently made its way into the evidence locker at the Night Brigade, and I need you to retrieve it for me.
What kind of book?
It had to do with that Wraith issue that happened down in the Foreign Quarter recently. Should be marked something like Cairn Court Mansion.
Rue just
Yeah.
immediately starts to go pale. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I've heard about it.
I'm gonna need you to get that for me. You know, off the books.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, when do you need it?
Oh, I think someone of your skill could have it to me in the next day or two.
Okay. Yeah. Where should I leave it?
Oh, well, you can come visit me at the main garrison in Mid District.
Um, I I think I think somewhere more public might be better,
I
because
don't think I need to remind you that if a certain someone was known to have been involved in the extrajudicial removal of the Faceless Gang out of Lowtown, well, I would have no choice but to arrest them. And imagine what that would do to that person's poor parents.
Rue just like visibly deflates. She just kind of sinks down and she stares at the ground. She says, "Yeah, yeah, I can do that."
Good. I'm glad we're able to work together again. I do miss you, Rue. Remember, my office next 2 days with that book. She walks off, leaving you alone on that street.
Oh, Rue cries like a baby. She ugly cries.
Does Rue retrieve the book?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. She would try to figure out a good time where there would be the least amount of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And she would say, "Oh," so if she had to like persuade someone to let her in, she would say that she has to submit more evidence.
Yeah, it's not hard. You know the procedures of this place. You're also, you know, with you having taken lead on a recent investigation, there is obviously weight that comes with that. And you would probably do this some later one evening, the next evening maybe. Not hard to get the evidence.
Rue would swap the book with another book.
Okay, easily done. And as you're exiting, book and pack. Oh, I didn't know you were still here. Waymark. You see the captain closing the door to his office.
Oh, hi, Captain. Yep. Always burning the midnight oil, just like Trent.
Yeah. Although I'm pretty sure he lives in the quarter, in the stock room. He's been here since I've been captain and worked here. Actually, I don't know how old he is. Really old, or at least older than I am, and I'm a dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I just want to say again, good work on that foreign quarter case, the Wraith case recently. I'm glad you didn't drop the ball on that lead I gave you.
Of course, Captain.
I knew you had it in you. He walks off.
Rue looks so guilty and sad. She would go to drop off the book as soon as possible.
And Bruta says, as you meet her in her office, nice, lavish commander of the Mid-District City Watch Forces. It's good working with you, Rue. I think that's where we fade away from that scene. Owen, you are out for dinner with Lysandra. An evening soon. You missed lunch with her the other day, and so she had you make it up to her by having you take her out to dinner. A nice little restaurant on a nice little square, and we'll say she's brought you up to the upper district. A little bit quieter here, more her speed. And it's been a pleasant evening. I'm sure Owen's mind is still reeling with his experience with the Raven Queen.
Yeah, he's, even for him, unusually quiet. He's listening, but his thoughts are elsewhere.
And, she asks you about your most recent case and how that went. And, obviously it had to be pretty important if you missed lunch with her. There's a little bit of passive aggressiveness to it.
Yes, it was quite important. Actually, we ended up encountering a wraith. That's why I missed lunch. We had to stake out the place until
A Wraith?
dark.
That's scary, I'm assuming?
Very much so.
Well, certainly glad that we have you and the Night Brigade to take care of all of that. I've been so busy with my work. Lord Mayor Gasgul he's quite someone to work for. He's a little bit eccentric if you ask me, but he does get results, so I can't really complain. He's planning to host some sort of summit here in the fall. Something about reaffirming the peace of Flaness. I don't know, something very bold and something that is going to be very annoying to organize, which of course is going to fall on my shoulders because, well, that's everything seems to fall onto my shoulders, especially when it comes to stuff like this. And that means organizing stay for diplomats and their hosts and oh, I'm not looking. Not looking. Are you okay? You seem to be awful quiet tonight, Owen.
Yeah, just pensive, thinking.
You have a very good, pensive face, I might say. And the rest of the meal goes. Well, there is, chatter about her work. She talks a lot. She's willing to fill the silence, for you, and
Owen just lets her.
and she, um, despite having you take her out or bring her out for dinner, she does end up paying, because she's like she doesn't even like ask, like she just pays for it. As you're getting ready to leave, um, voice calls out, "Oh, um, oh, Miss uh, what was her last name? What was Lyssandra's last name? I totally blanked on that. NPCs. Do we have a last name for it? Lysandra
Yeah.
Darkwood. There we go. Oh, Miss Darkwood, I've been looking for you. And this woman walks up, maybe middle age, curly, poofy, honey blonde hair. She wears sort of a double with a vest over it and some trousers, and got all sorts of little vials and whatnot attached to her belt. One of her sleeves looks very singed. Um, and she walks up. Oh, Archmage, Archmage Salvarian. I didn't know you were back in town. Oh yeah, so I mean I got old Gazgal's message, and I'm was gonna take my reply to him, but I mean I'm just gonna give it to you because well you're probably gonna see him before me. But can you tell him to stop being so damn paranoid about magic so I could just message him like a normal person? Oh yes, he is quite eccentric like that. I mean he's very paranoid. What with the whole, when the Archmage Rari betrayed, I am well aware of the betrayal of my fellow Archmage. I died in that incident, if you do remember. Oh, yes, glad to have you back and see you well. And the Archmage turns and looks at you. I'm sorry, I've been rude and ignoring you. I'm Archmage Jalarzi Salavarian. And you are?
Owen Siskotle. Nice to
Oh,
meet you.
it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Scotle. Tell me, you have the look of someone who knows the arcane. Am I correct in my assumption?
You are.
Yes. I am. Well, I'm glad to meet a fellow mage. As it is, are you part of the Society of Magi?
Unfortunately, no, I am not.
Oh, shame. It's certainly a way to move up in this city, especially if you are of the arcane sort. But I mean, I've always said that you learn best out there in the out in the wild, as you may put it. I'm sorry, I didn't really grow up in the city, so the city jungle, maybe.
I would think they would, that organization may disapprove of my chosen
And
focus.
what is your chosen focus, if I may be so bold as to ask?
I tend to deal in life and death.
Necromancy, yeah?
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, those those mages at the society, some of them do have a pretty big stick up their ass, to be honest, when it comes to magic. really wasn't for necromancy, I wouldn't be here today. So, whole extra bodies laying around and on the moon and all that fun stuff.
Owen just nods, though he doesn't quite catch all the references.
Yes. Well, I am glad to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Sisgodel, as she sort of reaches out and she, if one of your hands is out, she'll sort of like grip it.
Yeah, he'll shake.
And you see on one of her fingers a signet ring. And on this one, there is the symbol of a sparrow. It says, also, if you are looking to move up in the world, there's an opening in the circle for a apprentice. My apprentice. If you're interested, you should certainly apply. Now that I'm back in town. And she'll smile and wink at you and walk away. Good evening, Miss Darkwood. If you could just make sure the mayor gets that. The Lord Mayor gets that. And tell him to fucking stop worrying about magic. What am I gonna do to him? He's got his pet mage. Yeah. And sort of grumbles as she walks off. And Lysandra looks at you. You certainly seem to have made an impression upon the Archmage. Going to take her up on her offer?
I haven't decided yet. Yes, I apparently made an impression, though through no effort of my own. Strange.
Well, I mean, it certainly would be quite the experience to get to work side by side with an Archmage, especially one as well versed as Archmage Salvarian.
Yes, it would. It would be interesting. Though, as you know, I do have a job. We'll see. Maybe I will.
Yes, I would be so happy for you, whatever you choose. I think we see the dinner come to an end shortly. And we pan away from the city of Greyhawk, away from the land of Flanness, and away from the material plane. We see a gray mansion surrounded by gray trees and gray bushes, in a land of gray mountains and hills. We pass through a window of the second floor into a study that is not completely devoid of color. Gray is accentuated with blacks and greens. Sitting in an armchair reading a large leather-bound tome is a wickedly beautiful woman. She has long, dark black hair, dark green lips, clad completely in green dragon leather. There's a knock at the door. Without looking, the woman waves her hand and the door opens. And, not voice, enter. A large creature with the body of and head of a boar and black decaying wings extending out walks through. Almost has to shuffle through. I bring news, mistress, from our agent in Greyhawk. And what does our agent have to say, Turney? They say that the plan is in motion. The city should be theirs within the year. Very good, Turney. Let them know to proceed with caution. Do not want Mordenkainen or those other blasted meddling archmages to catch wind of it. It would be most annoying should they be sloppy and our plans come to naught. Of course, mistress! The large boar creature bows and exits the room, closing the door behind them. The woman stands up and closes her book. She walks over to a table where a chess game, seemingly in progress, sits. She stares at it for a moment before picking up a white pawn and moving it one step forward. One step closer to the enemy's king. And that is where we end today's session. Sorry that went a little long, but I wanted to get those scenes out of the way. Before I forget, you all received 100 gold in payment. As well as it's going to be a couple weeks before the next episode, before canonically the next episode takes place, the next arc of this show. So you will all be level 4 as well. But yeah, why don't we wrap this up somewhat quickly. Let's go around the cast and crew. Let us know where we can find you on the internet, what you are doing. Let's go the other way, starting with V.
Woo! Hi, I'm V Fergie. You can find me on all the things here, V Fergie. And wow, what an episode! Yeah, I'm gonna be playing tomorrow some probably more Ancestors Human Odyssey, and I might try to play a little bit more of the Blair Witch, or I might do some GTA RP. I'm not sure yet. I'll try to make a more of a decision when I wake up tomorrow. So yeah, that's me.
Wild.
Yes, hi, I'm Wild Engineer. This was a fun episode, getting Killer Wraith and all that. You can catch me around Twitch. On Thursdays, I play some Masks on Welcome to the Party, a Super Sentai version. On Friday, I GM my own game of Masks. And on Saturdays, you can catch me on Other Doc's channel for some Invisible Sun.
Awesome. Ryan.
Hello, I'm Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at GM or PC. Most of the time, I play either in person or online games with just a bunch of friends I have. Friday afternoons, 9 p.m. Eastern, I play a long-running Edge of the Empire Star Wars campaign, and we play 5e D&D homebrew every Saturday around 7 o'clock.
Wonderful. And, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect to one-shot you in the first round of combat today. Thanks for rolling with the punches. I'm real glad it was you. I'm real glad it was you. Because I had an out for that. And of course, Stella. Sorry? A little bit?
Makes a good story.
Hello, friends. I am Stella Luna here on Twitch. I am a variety streamer. I stream basically every day doing different things. On Wednesdays, I do art. I do emoji art over at my channel. And then Fridays, I do sci-fi D&D, Dark Matter written by Mage Hand Press. Saturdays, I do Pokemon D&D. And yeah, you can find me here on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Wonderful. Thank you all. That was great. And thank you all for being such amazing players. I am Imperator Pengu on the Twitter sphere. I do some tabletop RPG stuff across the interwebs. I do some video editing, mostly for Tales of the Grim over there. I do a lot of their intros over there, intro videos. And really all that I've got going on right now is Monday evenings over at Tales from the Grim, where I play in Bad Moon Rising and Urban Shadows campaign, where I make bad decisions and my character has to live with them. But yeah, again, thank you to all of our viewers for sharing this story with us today. Thank you to all of our Patreon and Twitch subscribers for helping keep us on the air. And of course, as I said, there's always the Discord down below. So let's find someone to raid on our way out here. Who is Strimstramming right now? let's invade Scraticus. They are streaming right now. So, yeah, let's raid Scraticus, and I have to go this way because I'm mod. What should our raid cry be? I'm trying to think. There were some good moments today. I don't know. Maybe don't leave your mage in out in the open. Don't leave your mage out in the open, everyone. It's good life advice. Anyways, as I always like to end our streams with, I hope you all have a good week. I hope, you all find some kindness in your week, and that, ask you to share some kindness around throughout your week, because the world can always use more of it. Have an awesome evening. Bye.